I do sometimes forget the purpose for which I am here. That is, to choose spirit over ego and avoid getting caught up in the illusions of a material world. But at some point in life as a human, I do know what I'm doing, and at that point this may be the only window of opportunity to make the right choice. Who knows for sure? I do know. I just pretend that I don't, and become desensitized to my own selfish acts against my fellow man and thus against myself. So after pondering my choices, I chose to stay at my playground, not only to explore more choices, but also trying to correct some of my past errors. At this early stage in the game, I knew that I needed to correct some of my mistakes, but I also knew that some would follow me for lifetimes to come, because they would be the blueprint and makeup of who I am today, and who I would become tomorrow. It is all predestined in a trail of many roads and paths that I chose to take after drinking from my fountain of choice. Another discovery I made while in the playground was realizing all types of animals and plant life would have a very important role in my existence as man. From the animals, I quickly learned the difference between animals with natural forms of compassion opposed to an animal of the basic primal instincts. Some of the animals could be easily tamed, and others needed to be avoided at all cost. But it was clear to me that there was enough space and earth substance for all to coexist in harmony. And just as some animals needed to be avoided, the same applied to some groups of my own fellow man. We all had our own agenda and separate paths to take, and some were totally different than others, which created conflicts of interest as well as a birth of enemies. In the beginning, it was very easy to stay clear of hostile company. But as lifetimes add up, so will the numbers of differences, and also the numbers of groups who feel that if you were not the same as they, then you were surely a threat to their existence. This is one of those situations that shall carry lifetimes of wars and changes. This is all part of the illusion of the birth of different colors, different languages, different religions, and so on, all designed to expose the true intention of a man's soul. But in these stories being told, it is my soul being exposed by the differences of man. However, I am still learning that no matter how different we may seem on the outside, the life force which drives us all is and will always remain universally the same. We are all soldiers of the light, trying to return to the heavens, and the only way this can happen is to seek oneness with mankind in the image of the light, which consists of pure, unconditional love and goodwill.
There is no halfway point or compromise. There are only lifetimes of lessons that are played out in this arena of illusions which we all sadly hold on to as if there is no ever after. The ever after, in reality, is our true point of origin, back to the heavens in our true form as the spirit of everlasting light and oneness. The I and the me are the only things that separate us from oneness. After learning the above lessons, it had been many years for me walking in the sand as man, and I was starting to feel a change in myself. What I was feeling was the end for that tour of duty. Now all I could do was follow the Spirit. Where it was taking me would be my first personal introduction to death of the flesh, only to return in a different way to continue my quest for oneness with the power of all that is pure and my battle to overcome my ego. I walked to the edge of the sands of earth, to the body of liquid which would prepare my next birth. It was a never-ending flow of water and waves being revealed to me as the birth and the grave. I now know the day to be of 6s, 2s, and 9s, that I will always return until my tour is complete. I have seen some exit, by fire, by air, and by sand,
but my exit was the first that I had seen in the water. So I continued to walk to my watery grave as the Spirit stayed with me as my courage to be brave. I did speak to the Spirit about my many returns, and it revealed to me that there's so much more I must learn. My conversation with Spirit. I can clearly see my exit, but how do I return? Through the womb of a female that shall give you your name. Who is this female, and how was she chosen? She will be in spirit, the first female whom you met and left for another. She was hurt deeply by your actions, so your first return will be to show her spirit the highest form of love that a male can ever have for a female in the flesh, child's love for his mother. As I walked to the water, I was quickly losing memory of all that I had lived. However, the Spirit did reveal to me that it would keep record and detail of all my life's work. The last message from Spirit before my exit. Stay strong to the Spirit. It is the keeper of the blueprint that makes up who you are. Access through meditation reveals purpose. You will learn how access through channeling reveals past deeds that must be addressed. You will clearly see your life path and have choice to accept the mission that you were sent here to carry out. You do live to die, and you die to live again. Each new birth is a chance to correct past deeds done bad. In addition, once you have reached your final birth, then will come your true day of reckoning. The day that life in the flesh ends forever will be your judgment day. I have returned many times since that exit, but now as I write this, my returns are becoming fewer. The people in my life today are the same spirits of people from the past, and they are becoming fewer. The bad deeds that I do today are the same deeds from my past, and they are becoming fewer. In the past, I had become weak to this spirit for a while, but I have grown stronger in time because I am learning more truth about my ego. The ego can only live on earth in the flesh. The ego wants to be God over the earth. The ego wants me to believe that I am God in the flesh. I am not. What I am is an extension of God in spirit and one of God's most beautiful creations, sent here to play out a role for the heavens to see that power and choice are the roots of destruction when put in the hands of the ego. However, to find my way back to the light is testament that I do believe in the one true power of everlasting life known to man as God. My actions are my creations, and my creations breed what I am going to be. With each action which I manifest, the rewards, no matter how bitter or sweet, shall carry my seal. If I am ever to return to my true origin, I must follow the path of my spirit and not that of man and ego. The power of spirit lives strong within me again. I am feeling closer to the spirit of light in each lifetime of righteous deeds. The ego is starting to go back to where we first met, behind me, in weakness and fear, because I know that my brain has the control to choose the spirit over the ego, and it is a large part of my life's work to make this choice an automatic default within myself, to always rise to the ways of my spirit and not fall prey to the illusions of the ego.
Wow, I really enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see what's next.